Hello, I'm Diamond Lewis, Executive Director of DCTV, Channel 23, and your host of Let's Talk DeKalb. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, dedicated to raising awareness, funds for research, and providing support to those affected. As we approach this special month, we're excited to bring you a preview of our upcoming edition of Let's Talk DeKalb, focused solely on breast cancer awareness. It's the most common cancer among women worldwide, with 1 in 8 women expected to be diagnosed in their lifetime. In this special edition of LTD, we sit down with 2 inspiring members of the DeKalb County Fire Rescue Department. That's Beverly Thompson and Charlene Jaudon, who share their personal stories following a breast cancer diagnosis. Let's take a look now at this heartfelt conversation, which highlights the strength and the courage of these 2 remarkable women. I am simply honored today to have our guests here in DCTV studio with us. Joining us now are Beverly Thompson and Charlene Jaudon. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thank you for
having us.
Now, I know our viewers are used to seeing a sea of pink by the men and women who work for the DeKalb County Fire Rescue Department each and every October. And you are the mastermind behind why they see that sea of pink. So first, let's talk about your diagnosis in 2006, and because it really is the inspiration behind this entire campaign. So talk to us about your first diagnosis with breast cancer in 2006.
Correct. I was diagnosed in 2006 with DCIS. After being diagnosed, I had to undergo a lumpectomy and 7 weeks of radiation. I was good after that. In 2012, I was watching a morning news show, and they did a story on the New York Fire Department, and they all had on pink shirts. And then they also went around the country and showed other departments wearing pink shirts. And I was like, why can't DeKalb do that? Why can't we wear pink shirts and show solidarity during the month of October as well? And I went to the chief at that time and asked if we could do it. And he was like, sure, you know, and that's how it came about. Then in 2013, the very next year, I was diagnosed with my second bout of breast cancer. And during that time, I ended up having to have a double mastectomy.
May I ask you, where are we now with your journey with breast cancer?
At this time, I am still in remission, so I'm still doing good.
Well, you're doing good, but you're also kicking butt because you are raising funds for this cause, because it not only impacted you and your family, but certainly your peers in the DeKalb County Fire Rescue Department. So tell me about, how do you feel when you walk through the corridor in October and you see this sea of pink?
Oh, I love it. I love it, because to see the guys, especially the men wearing the pink shirts, a lot of them would tell me when we first started, especially, it was like, I'm not wearing a pink shirt. So that's why we also have it in blue for those who refuse to wear pink. But then I have those who said, that's the only time I will wear pink. So I love it when I do go out to the station or they're ordering their shirts, to see them in their pink and their blue shirts supporting breast cancer. When we first started doing it, it really opened up doors for people to come to me. You never know how many people are dealing with their family members, their wives, their girlfriends, their sisters who had breast cancer. And it opened up that door for them to come to me and talk to me about it. They were so thankful that we were out here doing it. And I wasn't going to do the t-shirt this year.
What?
But Miss Charlene, when I found out that she was dealing with breast cancer this year, and I was like, I gotta do a t-shirt. I gotta do a t-shirt.
Okay, well, you opened up the door for me to transition into the story of Miss Charlene. Miss Charlene, can you share with us your story and when you were first diagnosed with breast cancer?
Okay, yes. This year has been an interesting year for me because my dad passed away on the 27th of February, and on the 28th of February, he called me and told me that I have breast cancer. And so I was like, okay, throw something else. But through let me first say that the first person I called and told about it was Miss Beverly. I didn't even tell my mom because we were dealing with so much. And she said, well, don't worry about it. Just get your playlist together, because we have a playlist, and everything is going to work itself out. Now, her breast cancer and my breast cancer are different. She was DCIS, but I have triple negative, which tends to be a little bit more aggressive. So I had to do chemo, which is why I'm a baldy now. And I had hair like yours at first. So I'm like, oh. But throughout this journey, it's been kind of interesting because I've had so much support, which is not normal for people in my condition. And especially with the local union, our 1492 has been really good. Miss Beverly, I can pick up the phone and call her anytime, and she'll answer and give me words of advice and words of comfort. Our chief, Chief Fulham, is amazing. He has been really, really supportive throughout this. And I take chemo. I was on a regimen of chemo for 10 weeks of just every week. And so that can kind of break your body down a little bit, but now I only take it every 3 weeks. And I am slated to have a double mastectomy sometime in October, because we got it in one, we don't want it to come back in the other. So we're gonna just get them both done. Who cares about vanity? That will come later. They'll do reconstruction after that. But it has been a very interesting year, but I can only say good things about my support team. I have a great group of people that I call. And like I said, Miss Beverly was the first person I talked to about it, because I couldn't tell my mom. And it's just been amazing. It's amazing. I mean, the process isn't amazing, but the people are amazing that have been around me. So, yeah.
I'm so appreciative of you both being here today and sharing your story. And Charlene, I understand how difficult it was to even work us into your health regimen and be here with us today. And so we appreciate you all for taking the time, but also being open and honest enough to share your story, because so many people can glean hope and advice and not be so scared when you get the word of the big C. And so that's what I want to ask you all about. When you first were told that you have the big C, take me back to that moment. Charlene, we'll start with you.
Well, I had to come apart to the point that my doctor was like, you might need some Xanax. So, because I'm 47 years old, I'm going in, I'm just thinking that I need a breast reduction. That wasn't the case. And she was like, the kind you have is kind of aggressive. I actually had a cruise schedule that next week, and she told me I couldn't go, and Carnival didn't give me my money back, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, it was horrible. But she ended up explaining to me why I needed to start chemo that fast, and to get me to understand that I was dealing with something that needed to be done. So I did have a moment. It wasn't the most pleasant news, but I was like, okay, well, if somebody else can get through it, then I can get through it too. And so I was the queen of Punchinella when I was younger. So I figured that this is something that I could get through. And she told me that I could keep working. That was music to my ears. So I have been working since the diagnosis. I hadn't taken off from work to do anything. And I think the only time I will take off is to have surgery. And then I'll come back and finish up everything that way. Because I have to work. I can't, it would do me, I would be in a worse situation if I were sitting at home every day. So just coming to work gives me pleasure, because I work around a group of amazing people, just great people. So.
You said when you got that diagnosis, and obviously it was, I can only imagine your mind is spinning 1,000 different directions at one time. The first person you called was this lady right here. What made you even think to call, you know what, I'm going to call Miss Beverly. Let me call Beverly, because I know she'll be the right person to talk to me at this time, because that's a very dark time.
It is. And the only person I could think of that I could really talk to about this, that had been through it and could give me some type of semblance of what I might go through, was Miss Beverly. And I actually had to get her number from her son. So I was like, hey, I need your mom's number. He was like, okay, texted it to me, didn't ask me why or anything. And so I talked to her, and she made me feel better almost instantly, because she told me, you can do this. You got this. Don't give up. And so my mind frame from that point has been, I can do this. I'm not giving up. This is something that I have to do. So that's what I'm doing.
To me, that's the exact purpose of turning your test into your testimony. Because certainly you're raising funds for a good cause, but for somebody to say, I'm going through this moment, oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm gonna call Miss Beverly, because you have turned yourself into the face of support for breast cancer in DeKalb County. Talk to me about hearing that your colleagues said, you know what, I know who to call.
It makes me feel good. And when she did call me, oh, my heart just went out to her, because the day before, her father had just passed, unexpectedly. And to know that she wanted to reach out, or she thought of me to reach out to. And all I could do was tell her, you got to put your eyes on God. Because that's what happened with me. When they told me, I was all over the place. What? Why me? You know, no one in my family at that time had had breast cancer. Why am I going through this? And for 3 days, I cried every day on my way to work. And on the 3rd day, just like I'm talking to you, this voice said to me, what are you doing? Why are you crying? You're in church every Sunday. You're telling everybody how good God is. Now here you are faced with something, and the first thing you do is you fall apart and you're crying. You haven't even thought about me. And I promise you, just like I'm talking to you, that voice was talking to me. And I dried up my tears instantly. I put in the CD, because this was in '06. I put in my CD. It was Smokey Robinson, Lord, I Need You Now. And I played that every day when I got in my car until it got down in my spirit and I believed the words that were in that song. And it was at that moment, I was like, I'm okay. We got this. Didn't cry anymore. Then when it came back in 2013, I cried that first day. But then it was like, remember what happened in 2006? That's what's going to happen now. He got you. I didn't cry anymore. So I thank her. And I hope I said something to help her that day.
You're saying something to help so many people watching this piece, and you're helping so many people by this annual drive. So now talk to us about how our viewers can also donate to this worthy cause.
So we're selling the t-shirts. Our t-shirts are $21. They're $21, and through our Facebook page is mainly where people can go on the Facebook page and purchase a t-shirt from there. We're splitting the money this year, but Charlene does not know that. Normally, with us, the money is given to the hospital, to the research, cancer research. But the union also did a drive for Charlene, and the money was donated to her. And we're also going to donate money to Charlene this year to help her with her fight. Because we're fighting for a cure, and this is the DeKalb County Fire Rescue family. So, yes, but she does not know that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, baby.
Chemo makes me a little emotional.
No, this story is amazing. Again, I thank you for what you're doing. We're going to make sure that our viewers donate to this. I'm going to make sure every single DCTV staffer has the shirt. I'm buying them personally. I'm saying it right here, right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thank you all for what you're doing. Talk to us about how long you've been doing this drive.
Started the drive in 2012.
Yeah.
Right. The t-shirt drive. So we've been doing it since 2012. I think last year, we didn't do it last year, but each year we try to do a different design on the back of the shirt. So, yes.
And I'm so emotional now. I used to not be this emotional, but I'm so emotional now.
If you all would just oblige me, I know we're going a little bit over time. That's okay, Madam Producers. But I want people to understand why something like this helps. Talk to me about the reality of what the big C actually brings, the toll that it actually takes on someone's life. Certainly you're going through it physically, but like you said, there are other financial obligations that you have to worry about. Talk to me about that aspect of it and why this donation can help.
Well, every appointment that's a specialist appointment, and this is the actual specialty division, is $40, but that doesn't include, like, if I have to have a scan or if I have to have a MRI or a PET scan or something like that. They hit me one day for $400 just to have a scan that is required. And when I asked the lady, I said, what happens if I don't have this money? She said, we'll reschedule you. I said, that's not an option in my case because of the fact that mine moved so quickly. And she was like, well, you could be put on a payment plan. I said, but then there's still something that I have to pay for, and I'm still paying for mortgage, and I'm still paying, and I'm not even, my mom made me move in with her, so I'm not even living at home.
Good job, Mom. I agree.
But I still have to pay bills there. And so, you know, just the support that comes financially is amazing. I mean, it just helps so much. I've got children, I've got grandchildren, so I have a reason to be here, and I plan on being here for a while.
Oh, you will.
So, yes.
You're helping us design a T-shirt for the next 10 years. That's your obligation.
Oh, she stuck with me now. She stuck with me.
Oh, good. That's what it's all about. And then what do you want someone watching this piece to know should they get that dreadful call one day?
That it's not a death sentence. I heard that standing in the kitchen of my house or at work. I said, this is not a death sentence. I was like, okay, we're going to work through this. Stay calm, take care of your mental, because that plays heavily on you. And just make sure you get checked every year. Get checked every year. Now, they didn't find anything in January last year for me. They said it was a cyst. And then in October, that cyst became alien. And so just make sure you stay on top of your health. If it doesn't feel right for you, tell your primary care, tell your doctor, hey, this doesn't feel right. Something's not right. You have to be your own advocate, because if I had not been my own advocate, I wouldn't have known, and it would have progressed to a stage that couldn't be treatable. So be your own advocate. If something doesn't feel right, say, you're going to check this because something is wrong. I know my body. I know it better than you. Check this. And so that's kind of what happened with me, because they were saying it's not time for you to have another mammogram. I said, this is different. This is different. And so I went back in, and it was definitely different. So you have to be your own advocate.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We're going to close it out with you. Same question. What do you want our viewers, folks watching this piece, what do you want people to know about should they get that call, and how they can continue to help?
If you get that call, it's devastating. It can be devastating. It really can. Don't deny. Let me just say this too. After my diagnosis the first time, 2 sisters were diagnosed with breast cancer. Never before, as I said, had it been in our family. Thereafter, my 2 sisters, then I had first cousins. So I was the first, and then my 2 sisters and cousins. So get checked.
That's right.
Go get checked. I put mine off for like 6 months, because when I went to the doctor, she was like, okay, you're over 40, you need to go have a mammogram. And I was like, you know. And I remember taking that piece of paper and I put it up on the shelf. And I was like, nah. Then one day, about 6 months later, something just said, call and make your mammogram appointment. Go ahead and get it done. And I did it that day. I went, may have been a couple of weeks later, and lo and behold, there I was with breast cancer. So don't put it off, because you never know. Have it done.
Thank you all so much. We're again going to rock our pink shirts here at DCTV. We're going to stay in touch with you.
Okay.
We are praying for you.
Thank you.
We are rooting you on, and we are here for you every step of the way. And I can't wait for you all to be back next year talking about this breast cancer t-shirt that you designed. And we're going to be selling them then too. Thank you all so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks so much again to Beverly and Charlene for sharing your powerful stories and for your strength. Their strength and resilience are truly inspiring, and we hope their journeys bring hope and awareness to others facing similar battles. Now, we have a full episode of Let's Talk DeKalb dedicated to Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming up in October, so you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned for more details, and remember, together we can make a difference.